This movie's biggest gimmick was also its biggest downfall. Silent Night was directed by John Woo and stars Joel Kinnaman as a man who is dealing with the loss of a child and he's going down a path of revenge. It's a familiar concept. We've seen movies like this before, and I will tell you that this movie pales in comparison to most of those. The biggest gimmick in this movie is the fact that there is no talking at all. This movie is called Silent Night, not just because, it's a play on Christmas, but also because nobody talks in this movie. And I thought that would be kind of interesting with the main character not talking, but I was not sure I liked the idea of the entire cast not talking. It really made it hard to get into this movie and really made the story hard to get invested in. Joel Kinnaman is a pretty good actor. I've liked him in several things. I liked him a lot in The Suicide Squad. I liked him in that Altered Carbon show on Netflix. And I actually liked him a lot in RoboCop, which a lot of people did not like. That movie flopped. I thought it was pretty good. I liked him in that. Oh, and also The Killing on Netflix. That one also is a fantastic show. That was probably one of his best performances. But this movie is not Joel Kinnaman at his best. I don't think it's Joel Kinnaman's fault. I think it's the fault of the movie, the direction that John Woo decided to go when he decided to have nobody in this movie talking. That was a mistake. It held Joel Kinnaman back and didn't allow him to truly shine in this movie. For being such a legendary action director, the movie had very subpar action. There was CGI all over the place. The fights were uncoordinated. They just didn't look good. In fact, when I'm talking about CGI, there was a scene in this movie where someone gets pushed through a glass staircase, and I could tell immediately that the glass was fake, and I found that to be so distracting considering I know that it's possible to film movies using practical effects like that. I mean, it's glass. You can break some glass. It's not made extremely clear what this guy does for a living. I think he might be an electrician or a contractor, but either way, he's not John Wick. So it was very confusing how this guy, who is just a normal family man, suddenly becomes this badass killing machine that's just taking people out left and right. Even though the movie takes place over the span of a year, and they try to use that, I guess, as a justification for this guy's increase in abilities, I just found it to be extremely difficult to take serious, and it brought me out of the movie. There's a cop in this movie who seemingly is just one of the worst cops ever. He just sits back and watches as he knows this guy is going down this murderous rampage, and he does absolutely nothing about it. And I found his character to be so ridiculous. I'm like, yes, I know that no one's talking in this movie, but this cop should really be talking, because otherwise, how are we supposed to know where this guy is? He has no line. I'd like to know who his superior officer is. Did you know that Officer Grayson, or whatever his name is just sitting back and he knows that there's a guy going on a rampage and he didn't tell you and he's not doing anything about it? I believe this movie takes place in Texas. I saw a Texas license plate, but I don't know. This place looked worse than Gotham City. I was like, where in America does it look this horrible? I mean, every square inch of this place looked like trash. There was garbage everywhere, even in the suburbs, and there was a constant state of just gangsters just walking all over the place. Like, I understand that there is gangsters in America, but this whole town seemed like it was run by the gangsters. This city basically seemed like it was Gotham City. This place would make Batman have pause. Like, possibly Batman would think about leaving this place. It's a dump. There's a training montage scene that just did not land with me. I know that we love to see actors take their shirts off and show off their abs, but I just didn't feel like it was necessary. I didn't think it was helping. It wasn't selling it to me. I'm like, okay, so this guy is upset, and now he converts his garage into some room and he's doing pull-ups. And oh, by the way, now that he's done pull-ups, he's a badass and he can do whatever he wants. That just didn't land. I've seen some great revenge movies. It's not a bad genre, but it does take interesting characters to make it work. And this movie failed at that in every way due to the decision to not have any dialogue in the movie. Towards the end of this movie, there's a big, huge battle, and there's this character literally live streaming the battle to his boss, and I was just very confused why that was going on. Who is live streaming a gang war? Why is it going on? Why is there just pure chaos going on in this movie at all times? Where does this movie take place? This movie came off like a dollar store version of John Wick. It was not compelling, the action was not even that great, a lot of the scenes were shot very dark, and the main character was very uninteresting and not likable. It was really hard to get invested in this movie. This movie is only an hour and 45 minutes, and yet I sat there checking my watch the entire time, just praying that it would be over. The fact that I was so excited to get out of this movie tells you that this movie is just not very good. I haven't seen a movie in a while that made me check my watch this much. So it's my opinion that you can probably skip this movie. This is not your holiday movie. This is no Die Hard, and this is definitely no John Wick. This movie is totally skippable. I had to check my watch so many times that I feel like now I'm coming up with a new system. My system is going to be, how many times did I have to check my watch during this movie? Because if a movie is good, you're not checking your watch. If a movie is good, the time flies. You can't get enough of it. You're ready for it to just keep going. This movie, I kept going like this, thinking, oh my God, there's still another 30 minutes. Please, I think I'd rather just go home. I'm honestly quite proud of myself for finishing this movie. I really wanted to walk out. I was heavily considering it, but then I thought, you know what? I have to stick around for the people. The people need me to review this movie in its entirety, so I got to stick around. So I stuck around, and man, when the credits rolled, I could not have ran fast enough. This movie is a disaster to me. It is one of the worst movies I have seen this year, and I would definitely not recommend it. I'm giving this movie a watch score of 5. So that means that I had to check my watch 5 times before this movie ended. That's not a good thing, and it's not what you deserve for your holiday action movies. So that's my opinion of this movie. What do you think of it? Was it worth your time? Are you going to watch it? Did this review help save you some money? If I helped you save some money and you think this review is pretty good, it would be awesome if you could just hit like on this video and subscribe. This is a new channel. We know that. You can look at my numbers and you can tell that I'm a new channel, so I definitely need all the help I can get. Please help me get to more subscribers.